Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Friday, December 16th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So, unfortunately, I did not have a video yesterday. Had a couple other things came up that took up a little bit more time. I did share my Patreon for free yesterday, so it was everybody was projecting 4.9 times or better on the slate, at least in the morning yesterday. Obviously, there was a few different changes with the Heat and the Clippers news throughout the day. I was not able to update that at that point in time, but hopefully you guys found that useful. And if you're interested in that more, check out the Patreon as well. But in terms of today, what we'll be doing, we'll go over the injuries in play for tonight's slate as a 10-game main slate overall, and then do the core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for today. But without further ado, we'll get started with the injuries in play for tonight's slate. Once again, 10-game main slate. We got two games starting right at 7 o'clock Eastern time. We got the Kings, who are without Alex Len. Kevin Huerter is questionable to play tonight. He did miss the previous game out. If he doesn't end up playing, Terrence Davis could be a bit more interesting. Malik Monk could be a little bit more interesting as well. Then for the Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Livers is out once again, so no real changes there. For the Atlanta Hawks, we have DeJounte Murray, John Collins, and Clint Capella all listed as out tonight. Clint Capella, I believe it's a calf strain, and he's going to be out for a week or two, it sounds like, at this point in time. So Oneko Okongwu is going to be a very good value overall tonight. And then we do have some other potential value on this Hawks team, whether it's a Trae Young, whether it's an AJ Griffin or a DeAndre Hunter. And then on the Hornets side, we have Cody Martin, Dennis Smith Jr., and Mark Williams all listed as out once again. Gordon Hayward is questionable for today's game. We'll see if he makes his return or not. They did get LaMelo Ball back the last time out, and he actually played like 34 minutes, so no real restrictions on him right out the gate. And then for the Orlando Magic, we have Wendell Carter Jr., Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, Chuma Okeke, and Jalen Suggs all out once again, so no real changes there. For the Celtics, Danilo Gallinari is out once again. Al Horford listed as questionable. He's been out for a little while, personal reasons, a little bit of COVID protocols there, and then he did have the birth of his fifth child, so obviously congratulations to him and his family. But it sounds like he should be back tonight. And then we have Robert Williams, who is expected to make his season debut tonight. Will be on some type of minutes limit and probably coming off the bench overall. Then we move down to the Pacers, who are without Kendall Brown, Chris Duarte, and Daniel Tice. So the exact same thing we saw last time out. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, we got Ricky Rubio, Dean Wade, and Dylan Windler all listed as out once again, so no real changes there either. Golden State Warriors, Andrew Wiggins, Andre Iguodala, both out once again. Steph Curry is out, and it sounds like he's probably going to miss a month with his shoulder injury. Then we have Draymond Green listed as questionable. We'll see if he plays tonight or not. Would lean more on the side that he's playing tonight, but there is a chance that he does end up missing as well. For the Philadelphia 76ers, Tyrese Maxey's out once again. Korkmaz and Daniel House, both listed as game time decisions, but both expected to play tonight. Not really a major factor for this DFS slate, though. Then for the Brooklyn Nets, we got Patty Mills listed as doubtful and Seth Curry listed as questionable. Not a major factor here for this Nets team overall. They do get the return of Royce O'Neal tonight. He should probably be in that starting lineup once again. Then for the Toronto Raptors, we got Precious Achiuwa, OG Anunoby, and Otto Porter all out once again. So exact same thing we saw the last time out. New York Knicks are without Obi Toppin, and then we have Ryan Archer-Narakino listed as questionable, not in the rotation either way. Then for the Chicago Bulls, we got Lonzo Ball out, and Ayo Dosunmu listed as questionable. He missed the last time out. He's dealing with a pelvic injury. Could play tonight. We'll just have to see if he does or not. I would assume that he's probably going to miss once again, though. Then we move down to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are at that Jordan McLaughlin, Taurean Prince, and Karl Anthony Towns. And then we have D'Angelo Russell and Rudy Gobert both listed as questionable to play tonight. We'll just have to keep an eye out on that news, as that could open up some value overall. Then for the Oklahoma State Thunder, Jerome Robinson-Earl's out once again. I believe it's Ousmane Dieng is also out. He broke his wrist in the G League, so it wasn't really a major factor for this team either way. And then Kenrich Williams is listed as questionable. We'll see if he makes his return tonight or not. Probably not going to make too big a factor for DFS either way, though. And then for the Portland Trailblazers, we have Nazir Little and Gary Payton II, both out once again. Trendon Watford, Josh Hart, and Drew Eubanks, all listed as game time decisions, but all expected to play tonight. Then for the Dallas Mavericks, Maxi Kleber and Josh Green out once again. Davis Bertans is listed as questionable to play. I believe he was dealing with an illness last time out. Probably be available tonight, but not anybody you want to play in DFS either way. Then for the Denver Nuggets, Colin Gillespie and Michael Porter Jr. both out once again, so no real changes for this Nuggets team overall. For the Lakers, we have Juan Toscano Anderson and Wayne Gabriel both out once again, and then LeBron James and Anthony Davis both listed as game time decisions, but both expected to play once again, so no real changes there either. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play for tonight's slate. Obviously, the big ones we're going to be watching is D'Angelo Russell, Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green if he ends up playing. If he doesn't, we might see JaMychal Green starting in his place, but Jonathan Kuminga would be a lot more interesting as well. And then we get up to Gordon Hayward and Kevin Huerter. They have small impacts overall, might make the Hornets look a little bit worse. And in Kevin Huerter's case, we could play Terrence Davis or maybe even Malik Monk, just depending on your site. So not too many big news today, but if anything else changes throughout the day, I'll list it down in the comments as well. But without further ado, we get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my core picks over there. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with Markelle Fultz, who is coming off a pretty big game. He's at $5,100. He's playing sizable minutes when he doesn't get in foul trouble. If he's shooting the ball well, he's going to perform pretty well overall. We'll see how this matchup shakes out for him tonight. He might get some Marcus Smart, which might make it a little bit more intriguing matchup overall. But you could also paint like a little bit of a revenge narrative here too, since the Boston Celtics traded away the pick that was used on Markelle Fultz, and then obviously they drafted Jason Tatum a couple picks later. If you want to paint that situation, you could definitely do that. But at $5,100, we're looking for 25, 26 points. He's averaging 23.5 so far in the season. Currently, I'm projected for 28 points tonight. Could have that high end upside for more, as we saw the last time out. Not expecting that once again, but at this price tag, willing to take a shot on some upside as well. Then at shooting guard, we have Klay Thompson. He's $7,100. There is no Steph Curry for the foreseeable future, so his price tag is going to keep on climbing as long as he keeps performing. Matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers could be a pretty decent one for him overall. Looking for 35, 36 points. Currently, I'm projected for 36, 37 points tonight. Offers some upside for more as well, especially with a little bit more usage and a little bit more shot volume overall tonight. Then at small forward, we're going with DeAndre Hunter, who is $5,100. Looking for 25, 26 points out of him. Not a guy I typically like to play when this Hawks team is at full strength, but you could argue he's maybe their second best player, maybe their third best player if you're going to add Bogdanovich up there with Trae Young at this point in time. Going to be a little bit more involved on the offensive end. Pace up spot against the Hornets. Can't really go wrong there. The minutes seem to be there once again, so not really too concerned from that perspective. Currently having projected for about 27 points tonight. Could be a pretty good value overall. And then at power forward, we're going with Darius Bazley. Last time he was flat when him at $3,000. Now he's $3,500. Looking for 17, 18 points out of him. If he starts once again tonight, going to be a pretty good and a pretty popular play overall, I would assume as well. Going against the Minnesota Timberwolves, not a bad matchup by any means. If Rudy Gobert plays, it's a little bit tougher matchup, but if he doesn't, it's just Naz Reid, and I'm not too worried overall. And with that being said, I currently have him projected for about 20 points tonight, which is a pretty good value play, at least initially looking on this late early on. Then last but not least at center, we have Onyeka Okongwu, who is $4,700, looking for 23, 24 points out of him. There is no Clint Capella for the foreseeable future. His price tag is definitely going to rise up, averaging 20 points on the season, and that's mainly coming off the bench. Currently, I have him projected for 29 points tonight, but definitely could have some upside for more if he plays 30 minutes or more tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these five players that I do have listed here, you have $24,500 remaining. Just under $8,200 per player, so a good chunk of change. So whether you want to spend up on a high-end person, a Luka Doncic, a Nikola Jokic, a Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, you name it. You can play any of those guys if you want to. If you want to take a little bit more balanced approach to this, definitely fine as well. Definitely a lot of ways that you could approach the slate from a DraftKings perspective tonight. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks over there as well. So FanDuel's a little bit trickier just because some of the price tags are a little bit more inflated. There's not quite as much value out there to choose from. But we're going to start off at the point guard position with Kyrie Irving. He's $8,700, looking for 43, 44 fantasy points out of him. Averaging just over 41 on the season, but he's starting to regain his stroke once again. He's starting to play a little bit better. Obviously, the minutes have been there for, a couple of weeks now, so not really too concerned from that perspective. Back and forth matchup with the Toronto Raptors tonight. Probably a high-scoring game between these two teams, who are not like the greatest defensively. Toronto has their flashes at times, but both these teams do allow points and score points at a pretty good pace. So would expect Kyrie Irving to have a solid game once again tonight. Currently, I'm projected for 44, 45 fantasy points tonight, but definitely has that high-end upside for more as well. Then in shooting guard, we're going with Klay Thompson once again, $7,300. Obviously, we're looking for 36, 37 fantasy points out of him. On the FanDuel side, he's only averaging about 28 so far in the season, but once again, no Steph Curry for the foreseeable future. Going to be more usage, going to be more shot volume. Kind of expect him to step up in a big way tonight. And then with that being said, I currently have him projected for 36, 37 fantasy points tonight. Could have some high-end upside for more, though, as well. Then in small forward, we're seeing another familiar name, and DeAndre Hunter. He's $5,400 on DraftKings, so a little bit more fairly priced. We're looking for 27 points out of him. He's averaging about 22 on the season. Everything I said on DraftKings still applies. There is a pace-up matchup tonight versus the Charlotte Hornets. He's either the second or third best player in terms of offensively for this Atlanta team. Trae Young's obviously the first. You could argue Bogdanovich is the second, and then followed by Hunter. So kind of being that third option, second option on offense, a little bit more usage, a little bit more shot volume for him without some of those guys out there. Solidified minutes since coming back from his injury. Don't really have any concerns with him today. Currently, I'm projected for 27 points overall. Then at power forward, we're going to go with Bojan Bogdanovic, who is $6,100. Looking for 31 fantasy points on him. He's averaging 28.5 so far on the season. And the games without Cade Cunningham, where he's played, 28 or more minutes this year, he's been very, very good. One of the main point scorers for this Detroit team overall goes against a Sacramento team, which will be a very favorable matchup for him tonight. So I currently have him projected for 31 fantasy points, but definitely has high-end upside for more, especially if he's shooting the ball well once again tonight. And then last but not least, at that center position, we're going right back to Onyeka Okongwu on the FanDuel side as well, $5,200. We're looking for 26 fantasy points on him. He's averaging just over 20 on the season. As I mentioned on the DraftKings side, most of that's coming off the bench. A little bit of pace-up spot against the Charlotte Hornets tonight. Have him projected for 28 minutes tonight, 29 fantasy points. Definitely could do more on both ends there. If he plays 30 minutes or more, going to be a smash spot overall tonight and a good value all around. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed on the FanDuel side, you have $27,300 remaining, just over $6,800 per player. So we're going to have to try to find some value here. Maybe it's Kevin Huerter being out and we play a Terrence Davis. Maybe somebody else gets ruled out and we get some other news where we can work somebody in there. Maybe it's just doing a little bit more of a balanced approach tonight, but definitely a lot of good values overall. But a lot of the guys that I do like tonight, Julius Randle, Jaylen Brown, they're that $8,000 to $9,000 price range. So if you can stick some of them in and then kind of find some cheap guys to go alongside it, that's definitely something I would recommend tonight on the FanDuel side overall. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, December 16th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on DraftKings or FanDuel, whether it's someone from my core 5 picks, whether it's a completely different player that you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say tonight. And then also going back to the questions real quickly, if it is a more DraftKings or FanDuel specific question, be sure to just throw that in with your question so I can best help you as quickly as possible. And then as always, I'll be listing the injury updates throughout the day as they do become available. I'll list as many starting lineups as I can tonight as well. And then about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock, I'll list any updates to my core. Or if there are any changes after that point in time, I will try to list them as much as possible as well. But with that being said, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at CoachCraigSports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now we have NBA DFS as well as NFL DFS. Going to try to make an NFL DFS video later today, or do like a little bit of a live stream just kind of talking through some of the plays that I do like overall this week. So definitely be sure to check that out, as well as any content that would come out on Twitter, my YouTube channel, or over at WeBetATS.com, where the NFL DFS cheat sheets will be up either some point tomorrow or on Sunday morning at the very latest. And then with that being said, if you're a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I do daily NBA DFS Core Pick videos just like this, Monday through Friday. Do a little bit of NFL DFS content here and there. Still kind of working my way back up on that. But if you guys have any questions related to NFL or NBA DFS at this point in time, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's on YouTube or Twitter, or if you get into the Patreon, feel free to reach out there as well. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.